Welcome to This Explainer. We're jumping right into one of the most common and honestly most intimidating questions that any beginner has before stepping out onto a dance floor. Okay, picture this. You're standing on the edge of a room at a wedding, or maybe just a really lively night out. You hear the music start, the tempo picks up, and bam, that familiar panic sets in right in your gut. You kind of hesitate to jump in because, well, you just don't feel ready. If you've ever felt that pit in your stomach, watching everyone else move so effortlessly while you literally just hug the wall, this explainer is exactly for you. We're going to break down exactly how many dance lessons you actually need to finally shed that hesitation, skip right past the awkward phase, and actually feel truly confident.
So let's get right to it. How many dance lessons do you really need? I want to speak directly to you right now because we need to ease some of that anxiety. When we look at the actual insights from professional instructors and behavioral data, the reality is incredibly reassuring. You might be sitting there thinking you need years of intense, grueling training or, a minor in performing arts just to look and feel good out there. But that is absolutely a myth. We always build it up in our heads as this massive, impossible mountain to climb. The honest truth? You absolutely do not need months and months of hyper-focused training just to get out there and enjoy yourself.
But first, we need to totally redefine what we're actually aiming for here. Like, what does confidence even mean in this context? Because real confidence, it is definitely not about looking like you're on a competitive reality dance show, hitting every single line with mathematical precision. And it absolutely does not come from memorizing completely perfect, flawless steps. Real confidence is missing a beat, flashing a smile, and just smoothly catching the next one without freezing up like a deer in headlights. It's all about feeling comfortable enough to improvise, to recover quickly from your totally inevitable mistakes, and just keeping that rhythm going. Getting to a point where you can follow a basic pattern, laugh off a little misstep, and not lose your timing. Now that is the actual goal.
Okay, get ready because here is the magic number, 6 to 12. Yup, for the vast majority of beginners, this is the absolute sweet spot. It's exactly in this 6 to 12 lesson window where that first, clear, undeniable jump in confidence actually happens. But, why does it happen right here? Well, around lesson 8 or 9, your brain experiences this profound shift. The cognitive load just totally drops. You transition from actively overthinking every single placement of your left foot to finally relying on muscle memory. That loud, constant internal monologue of, okay, 1, 2, step, pause, it actually starts to fade, and your body just begins to respond to the music naturally. And once you hit this milestone, everything changes. It becomes way less about struggling with basic coordination and so much more about musicality, your connection with the partner, and actually feeling good in a real social setting.
Let's look at the lesson timeline and the milestones to mastery so you know what's coming.
Let's see exactly how this builds along a practical timeline, because honestly, understanding this progression is going to save you so much frustration. If you're someone who already has some basic rhythm and coordination, like maybe you played a lot of sports or you dabbled in some other dance styles when you were a kid, you might actually feel that first wave of confidence in just 4 to 6 lessons. Your body kind of already understands how to shift weight and balance. But if you were starting completely from scratch, literally with 2 left feet, plan for about 6 to 8 lessons to feel steady in slower, really beginner-friendly settings. Moving forward from there, if you want to feel comfortable across a wider range of music, totally unpredictable speeds, and varying partner scenarios, most people land right around 10 to 15 lessons. This is that sweet spot where you aren't completely thrown off just because the DJ decided to play a slightly faster track. And finally, the holy grail, if your ultimate target is, I can handle almost any night out, well, that usually takes between 15 and 25 lessons. This is the level where you can confidently accept a dance request at a crowded, high-energy salsa club without hesitating for even a split second. That level of ease is built through varied exposure over time.
Now, what actually changes your timeline? Let's take a look at the variables.
Let's compare 2 really common approaches to learning. We've got weekly lessons paired with short practice sessions at home, right up against taking occasional intensive weekend classes. Look, the frequency of your practice matters just as much, if not way more, than the total lesson count itself. Consistent practice between your weekly lessons, and I'm talking even just 15 minutes in your kitchen on a Tuesday night while making dinner, does absolute wonders for your muscle memory. It's all about those neurological pathways. Your brain actually needs sleep and spaced repetition to solidify physical movements. Those short, daily kitchen sessions help your body internalize the steps so much faster than some grueling 3-hour weekend boot camp where, let's be real, you just end up mentally and physically exhausted. It is not just how many lessons you take. It's the rhythm of how often you repeat what you learn.
Now, the dance style you pick also heavily affects your learning curve. On one side, we have what we call social-friendly styles. Think social ballroom basics, beginner salsa patterns, hip-hop fundamentals. These styles put a massive emphasis on rhythm and repeatable loop structures. Because those basic patterns are really straightforward and super repetitive, you can get into a groove and build early confidence fast, like really fast. But on the flip side, we have complex partner-led styles. Now these involve intricate turns, highly complex footwork, and incredibly fast timing. And you know what makes these harder? It isn't even just the speed, it's the total unpredictability of another human being. You literally have to constantly read minute physical cues from your partner in real time. While you will still totally hit that first confidence milestone around 8 to 12 lessons with these, building the deep flexibility and comfort you need for a full, unpredictable night out, yeah, that will definitely push you closer to that 15 to 25 lesson mark.
So, for your first steps, what fundamentals should you actually focus on?
Seriously, rather than trying to learn every single flashy move in the book, mastering these 5 crucial skills will dramatically shorten your learning curve. Just imagine stepping out onto the floor. First up, having a strong grasp of timing and basic rhythm gives you a rock-solid foundation. It anchors you to the beat even when those initial nerves start to flare up. And because you have that rhythm, you can maintain your balance and posture, which ensures you don't stumble or go pulling your partner off-center. Then, from that stable, upright posture, you confidently execute simple repeating patterns. Notice I said simple. No need to stress over complex long-form choreography. Next, because you understand partner basics, the subtle tension in the arms, the physical cues of leading and following, you can guide or follow these patterns super smoothly without stepping on anyone's toes. And finally, transitions. Transitions are the absolute secret sauce that glues the whole shebang together. Mastering transitions is exactly what allows you to pivot seamlessly from one simple pattern to the next, keeping the flow totally alive when the music inevitably shifts without ever needing to stop and reset.
Now for the real-world test. Moving beyond the studio.
Let's really unpack this idea. Practice in context turns fear into familiarity. Man, that hits the nail on the head. There's a massive, massive psychological difference between dancing in a brilliantly lit, totally mirrored studio with a highly supportive teacher guiding your every step versus dancing in a dimly lit, crowded room with complete strangers and a thumping sound system. Lots of learners report this incredible second surge of confidence, usually right around the 12 to 20 lesson mark. But here's the catch. This surge only happens when they willingly step out of the comfort zone of the studio. It triggers when they actually attend a social night, join a local group practice, or literally just dance with friends at a bar. Facing the specific fear of the unpredictable real world is the exact mechanism that unlocks true, lasting confidence. The environment is messy, you might bump into someone, the floor might be super sticky, but realizing that you can survive all of that while still keeping the beat, that is incredibly empowering.
So we've covered the numbers, the habits, and the core fundamentals. A realistic starting target is 6 to 12 lessons to feel that first major wave of confidence, and then 15 to 25 for total unbothered ease. The timeline is super clear and the roadmap is yours for the taking. But honestly, perhaps the biggest takeaway here isn't actually about footwork or counts or styling. It's about giving yourself the grace and the permission to simply be a beginner. True confidence isn't born from perfection, it's born from a willingness to try, to stumble, and to just keep moving anyway. So the real question isn't just what style you're going to choose, it's are you finally ready to stop watching from the sidelines and step into the rhythm of your own life? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope to see you confidently stepping out onto a dance floor very soon.